of income for you and your family as we go through this pandemic. So I'll introduce everyone. So we have Cindy Singh, who's over there, and she is the amazing team leader of Keller Williams Preferred Properties. Cindy also has a Maryland license. I did not know you had your real estate license.
Yes, it's almost
Okay.
7 years.
Okay, awesome. And she's the one that's mainly responsible for onboarding new agents, getting them acclimated to Keller Williams culture. And she has an overall great personality. And actually, she's the main reason why I decided to join Keller Williams when I met with her. So, hey, Cindy. We have Miss Claudette, who is on my team. I'll be transparent, but she's going to give her insights as to what it is like being an individual agent, because she was an individual agent for how many years, Miss Claudette?
For 14 years.
For 14 years. So she's definitely going to give us some gems on what it's like being an individual agent. Then we have Mr. Tyrone. I can't call him a newbie anymore because you're over 6 months. You're not a newbie anymore, Tyrone. So
I'm not a newbie anymore.
you're not a newbie anymore. So he came right into the business straight on a team. So he was never a single agent, and he came on as a team member. So we'll get his insights on what it's like being on a team. And also, he's a dual agent in that Tyrone also has a full-time job. So he has a full-time job plus he does real estate. So he'll give us some insights about that. And then we have Mr. Jarvis, who's also on the team. And I have him on here because he transitioned to Keller Williams from another brokerage that shall not be named and will not be named. And he's just going to give his insight on, why it's so important to choose the right brokerage to ensure you have a successful career in real estate. All right. And once again, for everyone that's joining us, please put your questions in our Q&A box and we'll be sure to get to them. All right. So we're going to start off with Miss Cindy. And the number one question that people ask is, how do I become a real estate agent? Like, what do I need to do? Is there classes? Like, what are the fees? Like, could you share a little bit about that?
For Maryland, the state requires you a 60 clock hour class. And what does that look like? You can do the classes online through the ceshop.com. It's 60 hours, so it's your time that you will take. If it takes you a week to get it done or 2 weeks or more, that's totally up to you. Or you can go to a class. For example, I don't know if you guys could see this, but the Maryland Real Estate Career Institute, which is a school that we have here at Keller Williams Preferred Properties, it has the 60 hours, 7.5 weeks. That's how long it takes. It's Mondays and Wednesdays here from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And the cost, which is the most important thing, everyone's like, what does it cost me to get started? For the Maryland Career Real Estate Institute, it's $435. It includes the books and materials, tuition.
Correct.
And so it's all included. Now, there are other locations you can take the classes as if you did it online, for example, it would be about $240. And it's your by yourself. So in an instructor-led class, I would definitely recommend the school that we have here with Maryland Career Real Estate Institute. Now, are there any questions about getting started?
No, go ahead. Just go ahead. We have a lot of people joining us. I know one of the things you recommended was the CE Shop. So when I went online at the CE Shop, they're offering 3 different packages. So could you just talk about which package is best for people who are interested in getting their license?
I agree. So it's theceshop.com, and especially now that we're home, we can actually go online and do the classes there, get it done in a timely manner. And yes, as Lisel said, there are 3 packages. I always choose the second one. It's the best one for me. It's because it's not so cost effective. I would always choose that middle section, or $249 is the cost for the second one. Now, if you really need some additional resources, then I would say go with the third option, which is a little more pricier, if you will, or expensive. And I'm not looking at that number because I'm so focused on the 249. It helps, our agents to really, have value, if you will.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
eshop.com.
And another thing Cindy and I definitely want to talk about is that prices differ based on where you go to do your real estate license. So the two biggest resources is the CE shop for that $249, or you can come to a class at Keller Williams. And Tyrone, you actually got your license at this class? I'm
See,
sorry.
I was going, I was going to jump in. I was definitely
Go
waiting
ahead.
my turn to let him know. But to kind of piggyback off of what Cindy said, I am Keller Williams Preferred Properties, born and bred. And
I like that.
I can absolutely attest to the class that is offered within Keller Williams. My instructor was Tyrone Whitby. He is definitely a man of my own namesake, and he was definitely one of the great instructors that we have here at Keller Williams Preferred Properties. The class is it takes some getting used to. I took mine from Mondays and Wednesdays. It's a 4-hour class every night, Mondays and Wednesdays, but you gain so much. You gain such a big wealth of knowledge within the class. It is very easy for you to obtain, retain the knowledge. Like we said before, I'm a dual agent career person. This is my first time in real estate. I had no prior, outside of purchasing my homes, I had no other knowledge of the real estate world outside of just purchasing homes. And Tyrone was able to transition, that knowledge to me and to my classmates in a straightforward way, but the class was just amazing. And I say that it's amazing because a lot of my classmates are now Keller Williams Preferred Properties realtors, and I see them around the market center, and we kind of have our core little group of the ones that came in together. We're sticking together. So, Keller Williams is definitely the way to go if I can give my honest opinion.
Awesome, Tyrone. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. So, and I'll be honest, I actually did my class at Long & Foster because they had a 10-day program that worked for me because I had a young child at the time. And my husband at that time was a contractor and he never had a set schedule. So I never knew what time he'd be home. So I just decided to take 10 days off my job and go for it. And I will never do that again. If I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't do that insanity. So, but definitely different places offers great options for the classes. But I love Keller Williams and what they've done with Tyrone. And then, of course, there's the CE shop if you're the person who likes to do online learning. Okay, moving forward from that, Cindy, let's talk about coming to Keller Williams, just a little brief overview, because once again, every brokerage is different. And just give a brief overview of what an agent can expect when joining Keller Williams.
So just before that, real quick,
Of course.
once you've completed the course, you have to pass the national portion through PSI, the national and state portion. If you don't pass, so let's go back. You have to pass both portions. If you miss one, you can always go back and take the one that you missed. So don't despair if you missed it the first time. Just keep going, pass the exam, then you can affiliate with a brokerage. To Keller Williams, so to your question, Lisel, joining Keller Williams, it's one of the things that's most important, and you guys can all attest to this, is training. As a new agent, the most important thing for you is to be trained, to know the ins and outs of your business, because now you're the CEO of your company while under the umbrella of the brokerage. We're here to support your business. And the way we do that is by training and coaching. Training and coaching. The first year of your business with Keller Williams, you have a dedicated coach who is there to help support your business, holding your hand, making sure that you're not making the mistakes you'd normally make if you're doing this on your own. And compliance jail is real, guys. So we're keeping you out of compliance jail by making sure you understand the contracts. Contracts changes every October. So we want to make sure that you're well-trained, versed in the language of your real estate business, so you're equipped to run your business at a high level. And of course, training.
And I love that you're saying that because that'll take me right into Jarvis, because Jarvis did not start with the Keller Williams family. He started with another brokerage who shall not be named. And we're not going to name them. And Jarvis, I just want you to talk about your experience and why you believe choosing the right brokerage is important in building your real estate career. Because I know some people have a tendency to look at the numbers. They're looking at these 100% free and all that. And I'm sure I'll throw you under the bus a little bit. I'm sure you went that route initially. So just talk about your experience and, you know, why is it so important that, you know, you have to look past the numbers and look at what type of support the brokerage is going to give to you.
Yeah, it's very important to choose the right brokerage. When I came in, and a lot of people get into real estate, I think, especially originally for the money or whatever. And that was my initial reason for joining a brokerage that
like everybody else, let's keep it real.
Everybody else, that's what I said. I joined for the money. And it didn't, I've been a real estate agent for almost 2 years now. I've been with Keller Williams for a little over 3 months now. And the whole first year and a half, I wasn't getting a lot of the training. I didn't know what lead generation was. There was no support behind me. So like my first year and a half, I was just like stuck in the mud. When I transitioned over to Keller Williams, these first 3 months, I feel like I'm actually practicing real estate now. You know, the training that we have is amazing. The education we getting over here is amazing. So I think when it comes to choosing the right brokerage, you always want to look at the training schedule. You want to look at, it's more important to get the education and learn how to practice real estate instead of looking at just the numbers. Because if you learn how to do this, the money is going to come regardless. You can't just chase the money first and then worry about the education later, because you can find yourself in a lot of trouble that way, just chasing the money. They have this thing called real estate jail that you will find yourself having to deal with. You just out here chasing the money instead of chasing the education and learning how to do this. And as far as the support system, man, you want to be somewhere where you have people behind you that's pushing you and that's care about helping you build your business and helping you build your career or whatever. Because if you don't, then like you said, you find yourself stuck in the mud. Like I felt like I was the first year and a half of my career. So yeah, it's very important to know what you want to do with your business, and it's very important to interview different brokerages and see if they have if the things that they're doing over there fits what you're trying to do with your career, instead of just going somewhere because they throwing out good numbers in your face as far as commission splits and stuff.
So Jarvis, I love that you said interview different brokerages, because I did do as I mentioned earlier, my my pre-licensing class with Long and Foster. And I think that was the best advice that my teacher gave us as a class. He told us to go out there and interview different brokerages to see that what they're doing supports what you want to do in your business. And of course, back then, I didn't know what he meant in my business. So I did interview different brokerages. I interviewed the big names. I only stuck to the big names because that's all I knew, I'll be honest. I interviewed with Long and Foster, I did Remax, I did Wykirk, and I did Keller Williams. And the brokerage, which shall not be named, when I walked into the brokerage itself, the bathroom wasn't working. And I was like, if the toilet ain't working, how are they going to support me as an agent? You know what I mean? And then another thing for me, I was looking at the aesthetics, the atmosphere, because I know I'm going to have clients coming into the office. So that was a big deal for me. And then Cindy's a Trini like me. I'm from Trinidad, for most of you guys who don't know. So I love the fact that she was from Trinidad. And she was just so knowledgeable on everything real estate. And I was like, all right, she impressed me the most. This is where I'm hanging my license. So that was a great point that you brought up. And that's important to everyone that's on this call with us. It's very important to interview different brokerages because you want to ensure that what they're saying, they're actually doing. And probably even talk to some of the agents at the brokerage because they're the ones who are really going to keep it real with you and share that information.
Yeah.
So just going into that. Yeah. So Jarvis, I'm putting you on the bus. You said, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I said I was hard-headed. I went through my pre-licensing course at Keller Williams under Tyrone also, and he told me the same thing. Make sure I interview different brokerages. I didn't listen. I should have listened.
All right. So actually, this question is for Jarvis and Tyrone, but more Jarvis, because like I said, Tyrone, you ain't no newbie anymore. I'm sorry. So what can you expect in your first year as a real estate agent? Like, just throw it out there. What can you expect in your first year as a real estate agent?
As far as expectations, and this is for everybody, not just me, your business and your career is gonna go as far as you push it or whatever. It's gonna go as far as you grind. It's gonna go as far as your work ethic or whatever. This is not an easy business, as a lot of people think it will be. It's not nothing that you can just jump into and make money. Like, you actually have to put work behind it. You have to put the right work behind it. So where I'm at right now, in my business, I expect to have some success this year.
You will.
I expect to have a lot of success this year because I'm surrounded by a group of motivated people who motivate me and push me in the right directions. And I'm able to pick up a lot of things from a lot of tips and tidbits from people when we have our meetings, and just being around in the market center and being around hearing people talking the way that they carry themselves and handle their business. I'm able to see that and kind of mimic some of the things that everybody else is doing. So, yeah, I expect to have a lot of success this year.
Okay. What about you, Tyrone? You want to share? Even though you're not a newbie, but you're still in your first year.
Yeah. I'm almost out of my first year. To add to Jarvis made a lot of great points. In this business, especially as a new agent, you've already gone through the hard part of getting your license. Congratulations. But at this point in your career, you create your own ceilings, right? You are only as good as the work that you put into this business. You can't get into real estate, right? And I just want to kind of really put that out there. You can't, just because you get your real estate license and it makes you a real estate agent, does that mean that you're going to get business just because you got your license. You really have to work for your business. You have to be transparent. There is no such thing, right, as a secret agent. Like, just because you have your real estate license, everybody is not just going to, just know that you are a real estate professional. You have to let them know that, hey, I'm licensed, I'm available. You have to put yourself out there. You have to make plans. You have to make schedules. You have to make sacrifices. This business is not an easy business. It's not projected, how people really think that it really is. You really have to hustle in this business. This business will make or it will break you. And there are a lot of studies out there that show how many people actually, quit after the first year if they make it to the first year as a real estate professional. But I totally understand. You know what I'm saying? You have to want to love this job because this job is worth loving, right? Being a real estate agent has been a very fulfilling profession for me. Even, being a dual career, I love this job. And it's because of the work ethics and the ceilings that I create for myself and the team that I am on and the environment that I am in Keller Williams that makes all the difference. So that's all I'm going to say.
All right. And since you spoke last, I'm going to pick on you. Talk a little bit
Sure.
about being a dual agent, because you are balancing a full-time job
Yes.
and also doing real estate with us.
Yes.
So can you
Yes.
just share your experience and like some tips with people who are watching as to what to expect? Because I'm sure many people are going to start off with having a job before transitioning to being a full-time agent.
Absolutely. So as Lucille said, I am a full-time agent. I'm a full-time agent within the government, and
You're a full-time agent in the government. I love it. Yes, Tyrone. Yes.
I'm a full-time agent in the government, and I'm a full-time real estate agent. And the thing about being a dual career agent is really you can't go into it with the mind state of I have a full-time job and real estate is my side job. No. Real estate is your full-time business just as much as your other business is your full-time business. You make the decisions as a person to be a dual career agent, so you have to treat it as such, right? So I treat both of my businesses as though they are full-time. So with that being said, you have to, being a dual career agent, you have to really, really learn time management. Time management is very essential in one business, let alone two. In regards to me being a dual career agent, I am afforded the opportunity to work with the tailor-made team where, we have a lot of systems in place that afford me the opportunity to grow, grow within my business, and and just grow personally. And to kind of piggyback off of what has been said about interviewing brokerages, I am on a team, and it's important to interview teams because all teams aren't created equal. But in regards to being a dual career agent, it's doable. It is very much doable. There is a lot of hard work behind it. Just use the systems that are already in place for you. Those, it's the building blocks to your business, and just, use the information that's already out there.
Awesome. Thank you for Tyrone. And I'm going to piggyback off of what Tyrone said, because I also was a dual career agent when I first started in real estate back in 2012. And it was definitely a balancing act between being a wife, a mother to a 2-year-old. It was a lot of balancing. And something I definitely want to share is you definitely need support from your family. Because if you don't have family support, it can be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It could be a little bit
Challenging.
Challenging. Thank you.
Challenging.
It can be a little bit challenging.
Right.
So fortunately, I was blessed with a husband who was very supportive of my real estate business when I first started. And I believe that has what really helped me to get where I am today. So I definitely want to throw that out there, that it's not all peaches and cream, especially if you are dual career. You definitely will need your family support in order to be successful in this business. So I definitely want to switch over from the first year and talk to Miss Claudette, so that for those, because there's a lot of questions out there, should I join a team or should I be an individual agent? And Claudette already shared with us that she has been an individual agent for 14 years. So Ms. Claude, you want to share with us, like, what did you love about being an individual agent so that people know what to expect?
Good morning. So regardless of whether you decide to remain a solo agent or whether you decide to join a team, some of the fundamentals are the same. You need to learn the industry. There are a lot of legal requirements. There are a lot of do's and don'ts. You have to learn the contract. So no matter which path you take, and there is no right or wrong, it depends on what your goals are. So know who you are, know what your goals are. You can build an independent solo business, or you can build a viable, sustainable business on a team. You need to have systems and tools in place. I reached a ceiling. One of the reasons I decided to join a team is because I maxed out as an individual agent. You have to have tools and systems in place. You have to have leverage. And in Keller Williams, we're taught about leverage. Leverage is simply support system. You need an administrative assistant. You need a transaction coordinator. You need someone to do marketing. You need someone to do social media. And so if you are an individual agent, it can be very taxing, and there are only so many hours in a day. And when you reach that ceiling, there's just nowhere else to go. You can only do so much. And customer care is extremely critical in this industry. I'm fortunate to have a 99.9% repeat and referral business. And that's through building relationships. So you have to also sustain those relationships. And if you are an individual agent, are you able to do that at a very high level? Because one of the things that you want to do is always, always, always stay in touch with your clientele, stay in touch with prospects, stay in touch with your community. And so I made the decision to join a team because I just couldn't manage it all anymore.
After 14 years, wow. Thank you for that insight. Thank you. Tyrone and Jarvis, you guys, well, Jarvis, you start off as an individual agent and you transition to being a team member. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I like being on a team better than being an individual agent.
Really?
Because I like the leverage. I like the support. I like the systems and stuff that's in place. I like the whole structure that's around it. And
what about the enforcer? You like the enforcer?
yeah,
That's me, guys. I'm the enforcer.
Yeah, I just like the whole atmosphere of the team. It's for me, like I said, the structure on it is what I feel like I need or whatever in order to keep pushing forward, and accountability that you hold on us or whatever. It also helps me to push my business further than I probably could have on my own or whatever. And I just feel like I need the guidance also or whatever, because where I came from, like I said, I didn't have any of this. I didn't have the support. I didn't have nobody around me really. It was really just me. And to come from that to being a part of this team, and I ain't gonna lie with this too, like cause I met you all a year ago. Remember?
Mhm.
Yeah, I met you a friend.
Yes, you sure did.
A year ago at your house. And me and Donnell, he was speaking to me about the team. And once again, I was in that phase where it was about money to me. And when he told me to split, I was like, oh, heck, you know. I'm good. But then over time, like I got to thinking, and the things that I was going through, like I said, the whole education and learning how to become an agent. I'm not become an agent, but learning how to practice real estate it ended up becoming more important to me than just the money. And being a part of the team, you all give me that education and give me the tips and give me the tools to be able to practice real estate. And the leverage and stuff that we get from being on the team is incredible. Like, we really don't have to do anything but
Get business.
lead generate, run the business, and that's it. And that's we save so much time. We are able to put more of our time into just practicing real estate than doing the background work, like a paperwork and following up with appointments after the contracts get ratified and all that stuff. Like, the leverage is amazing. So yeah, I if I had to choose, it'd be a team.
Oh, okay.
Individual agent any day.
What about you, Tyrone? You have never been an individual agent. You
Yeah.
jumped right in. And I know, Tyrone, be transparent. We're going to be transparent. I'm going to put you out there. Some people have given you a little bit of slack about joining a team. So, yeah, instead of being an individual agent. So you want to share your experience with everyone we have on here?
Yeah, well, you know, and I definitely understand individual agent standpoint of why are you being on a team? You know, why not just be a solo agent? You never even tried being a solo agent just yet, and that's totally fine. I totally respect your your perspective, but I just know what works for me, what works for my time and schedule. I know what works for me as a dual career agent, and then just knowing the individuals that I'm on a team with, I trust them. Right. We are, outside of the leverage that we do have on our team, our team is more or less family, right? We push each other. We hold each other to higher standards. We, like I said, we support each other. The leverage is always there, but joining a team, like I said earlier, when you join a team, you want to interview them just like you're interviewing for a brokerage. Because like I said before, all teams aren't created equal. And if you can find a team that, complements you as a person and fills you with the knowledge of, saying whether you're a new agent or you're an existing agent, you want to find a team that fits all of those needs and checks all of those boxes. Like, for me personally, like, I didn't have to start, as a new agent, with a complete blank slate, learning from scratch. I was put in a position where I was able to hit the ground running as a new agent. And I've had a lot of great success at that because of the team that I am on. I don't knock being a solo agent, it just takes a little bit of time to get to where you need to be. And that's great. If you have the time, great. I didn't have the time. I was hungry. You know what I'm saying? I had a goal in mind. I knew what I wanted to do within my first year as being a real estate agent, and being on this team, I've been able to accomplish that and a whole lot more. So, team aspect for me is money. It works for me. I mean, I don't, and on top of that, I just love my team. My team is full of awesome agents and leadership, and I wouldn't have definitely, trade this for anything. You know what I'm saying? So trust me, the tailor-made team was the way it's at.
And
Absolutely.
not necessarily the tailor-made team, but Tyrone, could you just dig a little bit deeper, because you started with some people in your class. And right now, I think you're probably at about 2 million in sales in the last 8 months. I would say about 2 million in 8 months. What would you say other agents who started with you, are they in your bracket, or have they even hit 500,000?
Well, I don't listen. I don't keep
We're
it
not saying
everybody.
names. We're just doing comparison. We're not saying names.
I,
On average,
all right. How do I say this? I will say this. The knowledge and the information that I get from my team, where I think would be more common knowledge, or like everybody should be doing this, I've been able to see that our team standards and the things that we do that are the basics for our team are not the basics for everybody else. I have been able to see that. The standards that we set for ourselves, I see a lot of people implementing those standards for themselves now, where I've been doing it since I've been on this team. The things that we do on our team are sometimes, replicated, which is awesome, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great, which is great. So that's what I'm saying, just being, so in regards to other, new agents, they come to me for, some people tend to come to me for advice, and I have no problem giving advice, just like I have no problem receiving advice. But to be in a position as a new agent, right, where people are coming to you for advice is a great thing. That's awesome, and yes.
Especially with some agents who started with you, y'all did the class together. Yeah, awesome. What about you, Miss Claudette? What tips and advice, because you were a solo agent, I know you were on teams before. So what advice would you give for our attendees on who want to join a team? What are some tips and advice, especially from your perspective?
Right. Don't underestimate the value of leverage. Our primary goal is to bring in new business, to provide an excellent customer care, and to go to the settlement table. So all the things in between, if you think of yourself as a CEO of your business, you should not be the person who empties.
Did we lose it? Miss Claudette, you froze, and it was going so good. Okay, she's having technical difficulties. Cindy, what about you? Cindy, what tips and advice would you give?
You should not be the person of the business that are critical to the business, but that should not be your function as a real estate licensee. Your goal should be to continue to bring in business and serve those clients. All those other steps are absolutely necessary. So don't underestimate the leverage. Yes, you can be your own transaction coordinator, but why should you? That should not be your function. So leverage, I think, is the one thing I would say. I think a lot of solo agents underestimate the value of leverage.
Awesome, thank you. And Cindy, is there anything else you want to share that we didn't mention earlier that is important for our attendees to know about?
Yes, definitely. Something that Tyrone and Jarvis also touched on, which is, knowing your business. And for me, the best thing ever has been the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. If you do not have a copy, go get a copy today. It's on Amazon. You can go to kellerinc.com, get a copy. This is the blueprint for your business. Page 202 outlines how to run your business as a business, because this is what you are, a business person. Another thing is creating what is called your 411 or your business plan. Start with the end in mind, what it is that you'd like to achieve at the end of the next 12 months. So 411, for those who are on the call and you have a pen, it's 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. So you start with how many transactions you'd like to have at the end of the year. Then you chunk it down monthly and then weekly. So really and truly, you're creating a structure for your business right out the gate. So there's no guesswork as to, okay, am I on track? Am I off track? What is going on? Holding yourself and hire people, meaning bring your family into this to have a tribe that's going to help support your business. So that's definitely one of the things I would say. And last but not least, the one thing Ms. Claudette touched on, focus on your one thing. Yes, one thing, and everything else will become unnecessary, easy or unnecessary.
Cindy, I just knew you were going to bring up those 2 books. You couldn't help yourself, could you?
I can't. It's embedded.
So any of our attendees, I know we gave a lot of information and we want to be as transparent as possible. Does anyone have any questions for us? Just go ahead and type it right in the Q&A box. Yeah, we have, come on guys, we're here for questions. Anything you want to know about real estate? We have everyone from every walk of life in real estate.
Yes.
And while we wait for some questions, do you guys have anything you want to share with everyone who's on this webinar today?
One of the things I would say is if you have a desire to own your own business, or if you just want to earn additional income, invest in yourself and trust yourself. I think sometimes we assume that this is something that we cannot do, we can't accomplish, but just trust yourself and invest in yourself.
Oh, that's good. I love that. Thank you, Ms. Claudette. What about Jarvis or Tyrone? Do you have anything to share? No? Y'all gave a lot of information. You're like, oh, we tapped out.
No, we good.
You good? Does being on a team affect your commission? It definitely does. And that's something we'll talk about offline. But just keep in mind, your team does have operating expenses for pouring into you because we do have the support staff that we have to pay. So for example, on our team, we do have a transaction coordinator, and we also have an executive assistant who handles our clients while you guys are out there getting business. So yes, it definitely affects your commission.
And Lisa, one of the things I'd like to share in terms of when you're considering a commission split is to always ask, so what do I get for that commission split? Because I can be getting 100%, but if I don't have any business, then I have 100% of zero.
I love that. Thank you, Claudette. So yes. Any other questions? Come on, guys. Come on, ask away.
So how do you like going from being an individual agent to a team to being a team leader?
That wasn't on the schedule, Tara.
You like being a team? You like being a team leader?
That is actually a great question. I'll be honest, it was not planned. It happened organically. Just because my husband and I, for those of you guys don't know, my husband and I work together. We're both full-time real estate agents. And we got to the point where we started getting more business that we could handle. Transitioning to a team leader is a huge adjustment because now I'm responsible for making sure that you guys have business, and also I'm responsible for ensuring that you guys know what you're doing, because if you don't and you screw up, it comes back on me. So it was definitely a huge adjustment as well as a mindset shift, because now I'm in the mindset that if my team is successful, I'm successful. So the more I'm able to pour into my team, the more successful they become. And actually I feel good. Like, especially seeing Jarvis killing it and getting a $750,000 listing yesterday.
I'm talking about my man.
Yeah, Jarvis. And I'm sure it's just a little, even though it was all last minute with me helping him and going on the appointment, I'm sure I dropped quite a few gems on him that he knows what to do for next time. It has definitely been a shift. But I love it. And it's a patience, and I pray every night.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Good job.
Thank you. But it was an organic process. It wasn't planned. It just happened organically. I'll be honest enough to say that. So that is a great question. Thank you.
And Lisa, for those who may be considering joining a team, one of the things that Tyrone and Jarvis talked about is the importance of the fit.
That's a great point, Claudette.
I mean, for me, I feel like I've known this group of individuals my entire life. We laugh together, we cry together, we work hard together, but we also get to play hard together. And I think that's
Mhm.
that's very important because life needs to be balanced.
Yep. And I'm going to piggyback off of that, Claudette. The fit is definitely important. Donnell and I have learned that these past few months. So and right now, everyone who's looking at us, I'm specifically talking about my team. Everybody else's team is different. But for us, we are now starting to become a little bit more selective of who we ask to join the team or who's interested in joining the team, because we've gotten to the point where the culture in our team is that we are really a family. And it feels off when someone is not fitting into the family. I mean, other team members feel it, we feel it, and it kind of affects the team a little bit. So we are now starting to become a little bit more selective. We have an awesome group of agents right now. We laugh together. We have a group chat. Claudette clearly entertained me with her Vaseline on eyebrows comment today, which I don't know where that came from.
Don't they look amazing?
You're beautiful, Miss Claudia. You're
yes,
beautiful.
she is.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but we all in the chat were like, huh? Okay, whatever. But we have definitely built a family culture on our team. And
Yes.
I and I are definitely going to do what we need to do to protect that culture, because what we've noticed is actually pushed our agents who now want to push each other because we're a family to do better. Especially when you have someone like Jarvis. I'm sorry, Jarvis. I'm so proud of you. You're 750 listed. Get it. So just definitely want to share that. So thank you for bringing up team culture. And that's something when you're interviewing teams, you need to look at what is the type of culture that team is presenting. And definitely talk to agents on the team as well to see how they feel about being on the team. If they're coming to you like, I don't know, those are some red flags of what's going on the team. Or else if you have someone who's like, being on this team is awesome, I'm learning, I'm growing. Those are things you need to look at as well, because you will be spending a bunch of time with your team members if they're doing things the right way. All right, any other questions? It's not beat up on Liselle Taylor today, guys. Any other questions from anyone who's attending? Any more information? All right, well, doesn't look like we have any more questions. Does anyone have any last piece of advice or tips before we wrap up our meeting today?
I would encourage everyone to listen to Think Like a CEO. It's by Gary Keller and Jay Papajan. It's a podcast. Definitely dive into that. It really tells you the story of how Gary transitioned from rock and roll to real estate, and how, Liselle, I remember meeting you and you always laugh when I tell you the story about, you came in on a Thursday, met with me during my lunch break, and then came on board, signed up on the Monday, the following Monday. And you were like the agent who was always seeking knowledge. Hey, am I on point? Am I on point? Asking the right questions, especially your first year in the business, because compliance jail, I'll say it again, it's real. You heard it before, it's real. So making sure that you have the right support, the right team, the right tribe behind you is so important to your business either being successful or not. So you have a choice.
Awesome. Anyone else have any last tips before we wrap up to share?
Just do it.
Just do it. I love it. Just do it. So yeah, if you're sitting on the fence and you want to become a real estate agent, just do it. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Just do it. It's not that hard. And to be honest with you guys, I didn't expect to have a team of 8 agents 8 years later in the business. I was just trying to buy my baby formula. That's what I was trying to do when I first started, to keep it 100. Similac Alimentia is expensive as hell. So that's all I'm trying to do, baby, buy my baby formula. All right. Well, everyone who attended today, thank you so much for your time. Miss Claudette, Tyrone, Jarvis, Cindy, you guys are awesome. I hope you guys who listened in or tuned in got a lot of information. And if you need any more information, you can feel free to reach out to us. And everyone have an awesome day and stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.